That one first. All right. You're live.
We're live. Oh, hello, and welcome again to another episode of Men of Biotropics. We are here chilling, about to drop some knowledge on you guys, and I'm here with my boy Rick, the trainer. Then we got Mr. Sciencey over here, Mr. Pat. Mr. Science. Okay, and we're gonna drop some knowledge, and hopefully you guys can gain something from this, whether it's a laugh or some knowledge or whatever. But we're gonna give you something. And by the way, tonight we do have another sponsor for tonight. We have The Roast. They're located in the Westgate Plaza off Route 16 here in St. Augustine. Okay, some good food here. They give us a couple of bowls and some other different things. So if you guys are interested in there,
If you guys
you
like
will-
Cuban food, if you guys like Cuban style Latin food, that's the place to go. The Roost.
it's good stuff.
Really good.
Definitely good stuff. Hit the spot. All right, so we're going to get to it. All right, tonight we're going to talk about probably lead into different things, but we did want to just go back and really touch on GLP-1s a little bit. But for most people who don't understand, like it's the semi-glutide, you know,
What happened there?
sciencey names. I jumbled that out, but you guys get the gist.
They're the weight loss.
What you're trying to, what they
Prescriptions.
are in regular names, do you understand what they are? They're like the things like Ozempic and Zepbound, Wegovy, and all of those type of things, okay? And they're different in their own little ways, okay? But, you know, we do offer that here, and we wanted to just really just talk about it a little more and go in depth about some different things and really just open up your mind about, you know, how it relates to like with Rick on the training side, you know, with the science stuff and with some of the things that you should look out for and all the benefits that are there. A lot of people don't know that there are tremendous benefits of being on a semi-glutide. So, my man Pat,
Yeah.
why is it beneficial to certain people to be on a GLP-1? What's the benefit of it?
So, especially for people that are diabetic, at risk of diabetes, it's very beneficial for them because semaglutide and tirzepatide are both GLP-1s, which means GLP-1 stands for glucagon-like peptide 1 receptor agonists. This means that they, it's a naturally occurring hormone in all of our bodies, right? And it's a GLP-1 triggers the release of insulin and enhances the body's insulin response to high blood sugar levels, right? So this is why it's really good for diabetics, because we want to get that A1C down, keep their sugar down. You know, and it's really been a miracle drug for a lot of those people that suffer from that. But also it's been approved for weight loss. So there's also been some other benefits that have come out lately, like anti-inflammatory processes and things like that.
Yeah, I read some research that it's beneficial for people in help deterring Alzheimer's because it brings down the inflammation in the brain.
Yes, and I think there's going to be more and more benefits coming out. I've got a whole list of benefits here that we can go over real quick that are just kind of mind blowing, really.
It's crazy.
That one peptide can do all of this stuff. You know, that's beneficial for people. So I was going to go into a little bit. One of the things that I get, and I'm sure you guys probably have the same question, is what's the difference between
The three.
semaglutide and tirzepatide?
Yeah, it's basically the two.
So that's something that I get all the time. I'm like, wow. Besides the price, right? The difference is that semaglutide is a single agonist, right? It's just a GLP-1, which works fine for people. Tirzepatide is a dual agonist, which means it has two peptides in it, right? So one is a GLP-1 and the other one is a GIP. We talked, the GLP-1 triggers the release of insulin and helps bring the sugar down and all that stuff. A GIP is actually released in the small intestine after eating. So that helps, you know, slow digestion down. It stimulates insulin also, so it gets you another boost of insulin going through there. Your GIP also affects fat metabolism, bone formation, and glucagon response. So GIP plays a role in it's another naturally occurring hormone that we have in our body, and it plays a role in obesity. So if you have low GIP levels, then you're most likely going to be obese. And so what we're doing with tirzepatide is you're getting that GLP-1 and the GIP kind of a double effect. Double header, yeah. So, and I think from what I've seen, experiencing, with our own clients, the negative side effects are less.
Yeah.
With tirzepatide.
Well, they've gotten better.
They've gotten better, yeah.
Okay.
But semaglutide is still a very good option, but and they both are having other benefits that they keep finding, like you said, Alzheimer's, anti-inflammatory response, and things like that. So
certain type of cancers, it deters all kinds of different. It's just amazing all the different things that they've been able to just like help not fix, but just not likely for you to get or have problems with, So for like the trainer side, someone's on a GLP-1. I know most trainers are at first are usually like, they don't really need it. They just need to fix their diet, fix their other things. But
it goes hand in
what are
hand.
the benefits that you're seeing that it's kind of changing? Because I know that sometimes.
So first of all, I always tell people, food is 90% of the program, and the gym's 10. Everybody always thinks it's the opposite. So to get change, you have to make change, and we know that with dieting and things like that. Adding this to the mix, if you eat right, change your diet, take this and work out, it's a win-win situation. It's impossible to lose. You just up the game. You're not taking some thermogenic energy pill that you took from loaded with caffeine and God knows what from GNC. This is scientifically proven. You need a prescription. This is doctor based, and the science is there. So by taking that, changing your diet, and working out at the same time, you can't lose.
So what we all can agree on is that the stigma that is out there is saying that you don't have to work out anymore and you don't have to eat right.
You don't have to. I mean, I hear.
You don't have to do anything.
I've met people that don't work out and they take it, and it says, oh, it doesn't make me hungry anymore. It curbs my appetite. I mean, I know one lady that's lost 38 pounds, and she's like, oh my God, it's the miracle drug. It's this, that. And that's the thing. Everybody wants something fast. Everybody always wanted this. Everybody always wants something comes in a bottle, comes in a syringe, comes now. But what I'm saying is, if you mix it with a good diet, working out, and you don't have to change your eating completely, but just change it. And you still want to look, hello, but if you just change some things,
Yeah.
and it's a game changer. It really is, especially in my industry. It's a game changer.
Because I would think from a trainer's perspective, some of the negative effects would be like some muscle loss because you're not eating as much as you used to eat. You're not getting that right protein if you're not using it correctly with the proper diet and exercise.
And that happens, but the person that's on Ozempic isn't trying to gain a ton of weight right now, so they'll take the muscle loss, but you still have to train and eat the proper proteins and things like that. If you're eating right, you're getting enough protein in to keep that muscle supply up, and kind of go from there.
Okay. That's one of the things that we bring to the table, though, whereas someone goes to their primary doc or they go to one of these other companies online and they get it ordered and blah, 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 and then they get it and then they don't have any coaching along the way, right? So they're just told, here, take this. And this is one that really, in my opinion, requires coaching. It can have some pretty nasty side effects if you don't eat right.
And that's what I was going to actually go on.
Well, I have to share with you what one of our people said. Vina said, "Oh, and don't forget, if you don't work out and take care of your skin, you will look like a Shar-Pei puppy." And I just think that's so funny because it's so true.
And that's one of the things that, like,
It's true, right? Like,
but when and I don't want to like toot our own horn or anything like that, but what we bring to the table is we bring that coaching here, and we also have all the supplements that everybody can use
Fill the gaps.
to fill the gaps, right?
Yeah.
So biotin, where you're talking about skin and hair and all that stuff, right? We have that supplement that we can get them. We have Sermorelin for the muscle loss. We have methyl B12 for the lowered energy because you're not eating as much food and all this stuff, right? So all these things, it's starting to be recommended that tirzepatide and semaglutide are actually taken with a lean muscle bodybuilder or metabolism increaser, things like that, like B12 and Sermorelin, really. So
I like the small. I'm on the small one. I like the small one.
yeah, you did, yeah. And we do actually have a client that took the tirzepatide and we put her on NAD and tirzepatide. And now she's gotten rid of a lot of inflammation, lost a lot of weight, and she's happy. And we've seen lots of.
So what we're learning also is that yes, the semaglutides are good, but you also need to either supplement with other things if you're not going to work out and do different things like that. NAD I love,
Yeah.
which what it's done for me as far
Now,
as.
does it energize you? Does NAD energize you? Really?
I don't really think it energizes me. What I found that NAD does for me is that it helps with my inflammation and because my knees are shot from all my years in the military and law enforcement and stuff. My knees are just like, and now I've been able to like bounce back, especially from his workout. Like today, he killed me in the biceps. And before, like he would have did a workout to me like he did today with biceps and back, where I would have been sore for like 5-6 days if not for the NAD. And I think that's where that helps too. And I think also the GLP-1 helps with that too, because you're not you're not overeating in the sense that you're not going and grabbing all those snacks and stuff because you don't have room for it.
Yeah.
Like you got to prioritize food, because if you don't prioritize food, you're gonna feel like crap.
Right.
Because the GLP-1 will let you know if you're eating too much fatty crap, too much stuff. That is one of the side effects of the things. It's gonna let you know because it's just gonna flush you right out.
Right.
So.
Well, since you're talking about the food stuff like that, I got a list here of foods that you should be eating while you're on GLP-1s. Number one is high fiber foods, right?
To keep it
Everything flowing. You don't want to get constipated because that is one of the major side effects. So we tell people all the time, hey, either eat a high fiber, high protein, low carb, low sugar diet, or you're gonna have to take some Metamucil with your water or something. I've had a lot of people that add the Metamucil to their diet. Lean protein sources like chicken, fish, turkey, even tofu, eggs. I know you don't like eggs, but that's one of the side effects you have.
Well, that was one of the side effects,
that you couldn't eat eggs.
Eggs. Can't mess with eggs no more.
Limit added sugar and refined carbohydrates. So anything processed, stay away from it. Fried foods. And if you're a drinker, you should probably limit your drinking while you're doing this.
That does it for me.
It works out.
I'm not saying that you can't have a drink, but think about it. Think about it, right? You're lowering your sugar,
Right.
and then you're killing alcohol, or your body's just jacked.
And alcohol is just a lot of sugar.
A lot of sugar. Right?
My number one warning about alcohol for people, especially we're talking about weight loss medications, we've got to talk about the fact that if your goal is weight loss and you drink alcohol, just understand that you've just halted all fat loss processes.
Yeah.
Your liver cannot process both at the same time. So we're going to spend some time burning off however much alcohol you drank. And then when we're done doing that, we'll get back to the fat loss. So it's a decision, but a clear decision that you've got to make for yourself.
I'm bulking, just so everybody knows.
But there's some foods that you can prioritize to eat that will help you if you are on these products. Is leafy greens, berries, bell peppers, carrots, broccoli, lentils, chickpeas, yogurt, salmon, whole grain bread. But like we said, the ones that you really want to stay away from: fried foods, processed foods, anything sugary,
It's hard.
and even red meat. You should probably stay away from a little bit.
I feel like you say, it's hard. Like that's that old
Well, that's the
mindset
me-
apart,
yeah,
because
it's
it's
the
not,
method.
the entire point is
Yeah.
it takes away the food noise. So your decisions in nutrition become just that. Like, it's a choice
Yeah.
now. We've
But I
taken
think,
away
you know,
the cravings and the.
but it's just like, because actually me and Jackie were talking about it earlier, you know, with her being prior where she was a mental what was it?
I was mental.
A mental what?
I know.
Well, she might be a little.
I was a trauma and
She
addictions
was trauma
counselor,
and
but
addiction
yes, I was a
counselor,
mental
right?
health counselor.
And one of the benefits that I read from a semaglutide is actually it can help with addiction and stuff like that. And it's like, so my thing as far as bringing it back to what we were talking about with that is like straight up for me, like I'm a sugar crackhead. Like,
You're the only one.
and there's a lot of people that are
You're
like
sitting
that.
next
You know
to
what I'm
one.
saying? And I think that's just
Jackie's
in
not
common
bad.
society and like the United States, I think a lot of us are sugar crackheads
Oh, yeah.
because it's like
It's a
all
drug.
of
man.
the
It's a
good
drug.
stuff is like the the endorphins that are released just from like wanting it, just like it's literally mimics
Yeah.
that.
There was actually a research study that just got sent to me from my school for health coaching, and it was a study that was done on the similarities between cocaine and Oreo cookies. And the way that it lights up your brain and what it does to your brain
Right
was
now.
actually greater with the Oreo cookies, showing that the Oreo cookie was
Let's
even
not add
more
this stuff.
addictive than cocaine.
Yo, bro.
Yeah.
Oreos.
But you're right. You're touching on two important things. It's an addiction, right? There's sugar addictions, there's food addictions, but obesity is a disease. So I think it'd be good for you guys to talk about that because there's so much. We had a friend of ours recently share a post and be very vulnerable and honest about the fact that she made this decision, but there's so much shame. And people is trying to say like maybe she's taking the easy way out and like this kind of stuff. And so explaining that obesity is a disease and people do need help, and that's why we provide this service.
I think that people that say those types of things are uneducated about it. And I think it's just an ignorant statement. But it's just like when people say you shouldn't take testosterone.
Yeah.
Or you shouldn't take this, you shouldn't take that. You should, and those same people are the ones that go to the doctor and pop 6 different medications. Okay, so I think that if you're in a situation where you have a condition that can be corrected by a peptide or something natural, or we can supplement to bring your normal levels back from the basement, I don't think there's anything to be ashamed of. It's something that happens to everybody. We all get old. We all get older, right?
Everybody except
Our
me.
bodies break down, and it's just a fact of life. I think that I think if it's something that treats the condition that you have and it makes you healthier and feeling better and looking better, who cares what they think?
Yeah.
Even going further than that, same condition you have, there's some people now that are just maybe 5 or 6 pounds overweight. They're just getting up there, and they want to just look a certain way. You know, a lot of guys in the gym, they come in, they take steroids because they want to look a certain way. Women go get Botox because they want to look a certain way. Ozempic can give you that look, and it's proven. The science is here; it does work. Everybody knows something that's on it. It's not something new that just popped on the market yesterday. It is that pill that will work and keep you in shape and can help you stay in shape. Even if you're not overweight right now, you're 5 or 6 pounds, which I don't consider overweight, 10 pounds, but you want to stay in that range. It can help you stay in that range and keep you down and help you in your dietary plan.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know as a doctor what ranges.
I don't think it's something that really is meant, unless you're diabetic. It's something that you can go off and on. You can cycle on and off of it. I wouldn't necessarily, I don't want to say recommend it because I can't recommend it anyway, but I wouldn't. The way we do it is once you hit your goal weight, we transition you to something else.
Well,
Like
that's
Sermorelin or NAD.
But that's what I'm saying. Right? So, say somebody comes to you and they're 10 pounds overweight. 10 pounds, really. That's what the way they.
But he actually.
But
well,
that's how they feel. But
Yeah.
what is the Surgeon General? They have this
There's a
obesity
BMI.
chart. Yeah,
Yeah.
they have this chart, and they haven't changed since 1964.
Stupid BMI
I'm
chart.
considered overweight.
I've been overweight since
Well,
eighth grade.
that is one of the deciding factors for the nurse practitioner or the doctor to prescribe it is they are, your BMI plays a factor. Right? It's not just because you're 10 pounds overweight. If your BMI is not within range, then there's something else that you should use because it's not for everybody, right? It's not for me. I can tell you that. I tried it and I didn't like it at all. And it's because my sugar and insulin have never been an issue, right? So if I eat right and if I exercise, I'll lose it without that stuff, right? And other supplements like Sermorelin and testosterone actually fill the need of what my body needs. You know? So I don't need semaglutide, right? Maybe you do, maybe someone else does, but like,
I think
Okay,
it's the,
I've got a question for you guys. Sorry to interrupt you, Brian. And Samara, if you can clarify if I don't get this right, but the question is the men in my world, yeah, the men in my world want to feel better immediately or they don't believe. But isn't it true that not all men will feel better fast? How do you get that mental shift to happen? Some things just take time.
I think ultimately, if a person, if a, from a man's perspective, okay,
I mean, I will lead you to the fact that like we do have things that can help them feel better fast, but
yes,
but just
we
in
do have
case
things
they're
that can help them
stubborn.
feel better, fast, but if they're stubborn, you know, a lot of guys won't be open to other things unless it comes from another guy. If they have their wife sitting there telling them that they should go do this, that, they're not even gonna pay attention to it. Or most men want to find it on their own if they're even looking for it. A lot of men who are out of shape or don't feel good, but they think it's just a normal part of their norm. No matter what you do, I mean, it's just like what we talk about, like being overweight. Just some people are just comfortable with it. Some
Yeah.
people like being where they are, and their spouse may not like it. You know what I'm saying? But it's almost like with like an addiction. Like if that person is not ready to make the transition and feel better,
Yeah.
it's not. There's not going to be anything that anyone says to change his mind, his or her mind.
And on that fact, if you come in and your testosterone's 100, they can't just stick you and take you up to 900.
Right.
It's a gradual thing. You get blood work every couple of months, and so it does take time.
Yeah.
It's not come in,
it's not
okay.
an overnight fix.
Right, and a lot of the women that get the pellets and stuff, they understand that. You come in, you get your dose, and they check you, and then they give you a booster shot to boost it once every couple months or whatever. I think you're allowed one time to use the booster. Otherwise, you would go from here to rocket ship now, and your body that's a hormone. You'd go nuts.
Yeah.
Your body can't handle it. So it's not something that just comes overnight. It does take time.
Because not to cut you off, at the end of the day, they also need to understand, this person needs to understand that it didn't take overnight for you to get to where you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not going to take a get quick thing to get you back to where you want to be. It took time for you to gain that weight and get to where you are and to be unhealthy and all this.
But that being said, I mean, we live in an age of instant gratification, right?
Yeah,
And I think that everybody is conditioned to think that if it doesn't work right now, or I don't have results right now, then it just doesn't work, right? But to touch on what you just said, I tell people that all the time. Like, how old are you? 47. I'm 47, right? It didn't take 2 weeks for me to get,
Right.
to where
40 pounds overweight and
Yeah.
freaking, my testosterone in the 200s, right? That's what it was when I started. So, and it took a lot of bad habits. I lived a life full of bad habits, right? Eating terribly, drinking, not exercising. And I was an athlete at one point where I worked out every day of the week, but it went a good 10 years where I didn't do shit except work, drink, coach, take care of kids. It was like a cycle, right? So, I think it's unrealistic, and I don't want to sound like a jerk or anything, but it's if that is your mental state going into it, then you're not,
Yeah,
then you're not committed to it. In my opinion, like if you're sitting here saying, "Oh, this doesn't work in a week," then you don't want to do it anyway. So,
Because it overall, you know,
Like time pass anyway.
yeah,
yeah, what we talk about with health coaching and stuff that she talks about all the time is that, you know, it is a lifestyle
Yeah.
change. It's a commitment to say that, look, I'm gonna take care of myself. And whatever motivation you need as a person to be able to want to do that, whether you're doing it for yourself, for your kids, you should want to do it for yourself.
Yeah.
But whether you're doing it for your family and to you want to live longer, you got grandkids now, whatever, there should be some type of motivation to want you to want to do it. But if that's not there,
Right.
and I'll say something else, though, because but I think it's selfish. First, it would be selfish for me to continue that lifestyle when I have 4 kids, a wife. I want to be around for my grandkids, right? I have people to support and that depend on me, right? So if I don't correct my health, then how am I going to be there for them? You know, I mean, I can tell you right now, if I continued on that road that I was on, I don't know how long, you know, it would last. So,
I feel
you know,
I think one of the things that I've noticed that you guys point out that kind of targets what she was saying, like how do you get that mental shift to happen, is having the support of like people like you three, you know, because if you're just out there, and it depends. The other thing, Samara, I hope I'm saying your name right. When you say is like that all men will feel better fast, the clarity on that is, well, what doesn't feel right now? Right. And so what's wrong that we're trying to feel better with, right? Because there are some things that we can adjust fast. Some things are going to take a little bit more time. But the key is having the right support that are actually helping you do it and helping you see like where the progress is going, where we're going.
the
And
question is too, is what is she talking about? Like testosterone levels? Is she talking about wanting to lose weight? Is she talking about like
exactly.
because all these
So
things
come on,
have
if you
different
tell us,
half-lives and they work in different times.
we'll answer
it
specifically.
all starts with labs. So I'm gonna go get some labs done. He'll get some questions answered.
And as a trainer, you know, 6 months. Everybody thinks you won't start seeing results until 6 months, and you might get a little tighter here. And it all depends on your program.
Yeah.
You know, if you come in twice a week and then you come in 5 times a week, your program, everything is different. And, you know, I have people come in and they sign up once a week. They show up and go, hey, Rick, I'm not seeing any change. I go, how many other days you come in? Well, just with you. Okay, that's, I'm sorry. you're there 30 minutes. That's,
Talking about Rick, you ain't the magic coach.
come on now.
Are you walking or something?
Right,
You didn't touch him, and then you just like.
you know,
You know what?
I love the fact that
I didn't get
people
that
come in.
program.
People come in, they go, Rick, I gotta lose 30 pounds. And I said, all right, we'll put you on a 6-month program. They go, 6 months? My daughter's getting married in 2 weeks. I go, I'm a personal trainer. I'm not God. Okay, let's talk about this for a minute. And they go, well, can I just pick some shit up, put it down a few times? I just laugh. It doesn't work that way. You know?
I think that's very rude.
Yeah.
But so bringing it back to the GLP-1, so let's talk about it. So you sign up and you're like, okay, yes, give it to me. You sent it to me. Like, what does that, let's say, like that first week look like? Like, do they feel a difference in their first week to be like, oh, something's happening?
Usually not the first week.
Okay.
By the second week, they usually start to drop water weight.
Okay.
And I'd say like usually the taper off is like the 3rd or 4th week because they'll lose the water weight and then they're like, oh shit, it's not working anymore.
And
then they go up
that's
in
usually they
dose.
go up the dose, yeah.
They'll go up in the dose. I think that the 4th cycle, which would be like week 12 to 16, maybe week 20. That's where they really see the most.
So they said it takes 4
Excuse me.
months for you to like really start feeling it and really start having a little more extra weight loss. I mean, it also depends on which one you're taking too, because with the Ozempic, it's a little slower because it is just the GLP-1. Where if you were on like say the Zepbound form, where it is the tribe, I can't say the word. Tirzepatide. There you go. Now I can say Tirzepatide. See, help me out. If you're taking a tirzepatide, they've shown that there's a 22% increase in weight loss because of the way that one's set up. So if you're on that one,
Yeah.
you're gonna see a little more of a weight loss.
Yeah, and we've had people too that have started on semaglutide and switched over, you know, because they plateau, and vice versa too. You know,
So that may be weight loss, but they may see other things change faster. Maybe their cravings,
Oh yeah.
their
I think the cravings
the
happen.
bloating.
Well, what I've noticed is that, with some people that when you're on it and you say you're working out with a trainer and you're eating a little better, sometimes you're not going to immediately start losing weight, but you'll lose a lot of inches. So that's why it's important, as a trainer, most trainers will say, listen, it's not just all about like, okay, you're getting on that scale every day. You need to take pictures of all directions. You need to measure all the places that need to be measured, biceps on, all the different places. Rick knows about all these things for where they need to be measured and everything. But I think that's important to know that you if you're on this journey, you got to celebrate every part of it, and understand that it's just not super weight loss. It's not going to just happen, you know. So that's what people need to understand. It's just it's work.
I don't like when it's referred to as like a diet or like it's a weight loss.
Because it's really not.
It's like the weight loss drug.
Well, the problem is you have
You
you have all these stars and stuff that are on it and stuff, and they're taking it and using it. But what they're not seeing in the background is, okay, that star is also going to the gym 5 days a week.
Yeah.
That star also has a personal chef that's in there cooking their meals. They also have all of these things doing. They don't have to worry about kids
and I guarantee you that's not all they're taking.
Yeah, and time doing these.
That's not all they're taking.
So I think there's this misconception because of what's out there in this thing that we call social media, which is a good.
I'll tell you right now, most of the people that they see on TV and these celebrities and all that, they have most likely used semaglutide or tirzepatide. But
Oh,
the
no doubt.
thing that they use the most, and I don't care what anybody says, is NAD.
NAD.
Okay, so
Because they all look young.
yes, NAD is the best peptide that anybody could take.
That's not another need.
You know,
I shot that too.
and it
I feel
can,
good.
like I said, some people don't like it. Some people do like it. I know Rick had he didn't like it.
It's not I didn't like it. I was on it for 6 weeks, and all of a sudden I started training. I'd get this pin cushion come over my head when I was lifting. As soon as I put it down, it'd go away. Pick it up, and it was like. And I looked up. It was one of the side effects. Now I love the Simorelin. The Simorelin's growth hormone. It's good. I like the Simorelin. I was doing both, and actually, so I just laid off the NAD. It just I had a side effect. No big deal.
But that's the thing is there are side effects.
Right.
Everybody's different.
Side effects to everything.
Yeah.
No drug
Yeah.
out there is perfect. Some people are going to react in different ways, and I think it's important. That's why the coaching aspect is
Yes.
important to understand that. Like Rick called and said, "Hey, I'm in these feelings. Is this normal? What the hell's going on here?"
Yeah.
And I think that's important that you have a coach there because a lot of people will go out and they'll go get this stuff, like you said, on the internet or from whoever, and they're not getting coached. They'll just keep taking it. The next thing you know, what could be the long-term effects if you would have kept taking it? You know what I mean? You'd be like, push through it, or
No.
obviously there's something wrong. Like you should.
So what you can tell them what do we offer different from that? Like we offer step by step guidance, right?
Step by step guidance. We have medical oversight, and we're not just giving it to you to give it to you. And Rick didn't. I mean, not Rick. Excuse me. Pat didn't say it, but he has refused clients before on semaglutides because you come in there and you're in 110 pounds and you're talking about I need to lose 5 pounds or I need to lose 10 pounds and you don't have 10 pounds to lose.
So we got Jackie do the nutritional side. We do it all. So there's a
Yeah.
program.
But to clarify that too, it's not. I don't. It's not my decision to give it to them or not, right? So we do everything medically supervised.
Yes.
Medically supervised by a nurse practitioner who's trained. Her name is Melanie Jones. She's awesome. And we've got Dr. Alex Moore, who's been a primary care guy for well over 25 years, and he's got a specialty in hormone therapy and all that stuff. So we're very well supervised, I would say.
Yeah.
And guided by medical professionals. So we're not just some internet company that you buy whatever you want.
Just go do it and end up doing it wrong and
So
have no guidance.
Talking to your gym pharmacist.
Let's get gym first.
I'm just kidding.
But it is something that's missing. So I had 2 lunches this week with medical professionals, and we talked about how we could work together and what we provide and why. And they both decided to work with us, by the way. Uh, and what they were looking for was coaching, because they don't have staff to do it. They don't do it. They can't do it. The doctor can't do it, right? If I was to give you any supplement, any medication that was approved by our doctors, and you had an issue with it, you can get a hold of us within an hour or 2 at the most. I mean, we respond like that.
Yeah.
If you're doing this through your brand, I'm not knocking those guys.
Yeah.
They can't. They don't have the infrastructure. They don't have the manpower to do that type of stuff, right? So you may wait 2 weeks to get back into the doctor, and then by then you quit
Yeah.
Yeah.
because you don't like it, right? Or oh, this doesn't work next week, right? So because you don't have the guidance needed. So, well, if you're not feeling well, what are you eating? If you tell me you're eating this, and I say, hey, cut that shit out. Don't eat that anymore. Eat this. And you're being coached, and that's just something that's happened multiple times with us.
Yeah. Well, that having that coaching and having that person there to really like guide you through the process, I think is the most beneficial part of it, because that's what people need. People need the coaching, and people need hormone therapy because it's a ever growing problem these days. I mean, for men and women, where half the time, they're going to their doctor and they're getting just some type of drug when all it is maybe for a man testosterone, and maybe for a woman it's progesterone, and or they need a GLP-1, but half the time you can't get it because
Well, I mean, so you probably won't find a primary doc or any doc. Some might, but they are governed by insurance standards, right?
Yeah.
So what happens if they start operating, not saying that they can't, but if they start operating outside of their agreement with insurance companies will pull their contracts, right? So they have to follow. Can they do it? Yeah, they can do it. But they choose not to do it because that would mess up their whole practice, right?
at the end of the day they got to make money.
Right. Well, and they're providing care to people with insurance. So
This young lady that asked the question, her man, whatever she said.
For men, but men.
Yes.
Yes.
If there's no issue, get a hold of us, and
Yeah.
and go through
Reach out.
Jackie or whatever, and get a hold of Pat and sit down and have a teledoc with them, and just kind of see what the problem is and see,
and just not to cut you off, but like some guys don't even know that they're getting benefits from things because they don't know how it be like testosterone, right? What's the first thing to be improved with testosterone?
Absolutely.
Sleep.
Right?
Well,
Right with libido.
But they don't.
for most dudes, though, what I'm saying, most dudes is like, look,
I
libido.
can live without sleep.
You know what I'm saying? I can live without sleep,
But sleep is the number
but
one
if I
thing.
can't throw it down, you know what I'm saying?
You'll probably correlate.
He said the number one thing. You know what?
He's yours, Jackie. He's yours.
That's like I'm trying to get to the seriousness of the question.
Also,
Sleep is
the
the number one.
The number one thing, the first thing you notice.
Wake up with a boner every morning.
Morning wood.
Sleep. So it helps sleep.
Um,
Primary.
yeah. So no, I mean, and that's where the coaching comes in too. Is there guys who don't
Yeah.
really know anything about it and are uneducated about it and are embarrassed to talk to people, or they don't know anybody that's doing it to talk to.
Just send them our way.
Yeah. There's no reason to be embarrassed.
It's part of life.
Yeah.
It is.
I mean, it's
Women go
just,
through menopause, guys go through this. It's just the way it is.
There's
It's a
a
cycle.
men name. There's
Andropause.
Andropause. There you go.
it's a real thing. And how many times I didn't hear that term until I started doing this.
I didn't remember
Andropause.
what
Have you ever
it was.
been told that men go through andropause? It's
No,
a real
because
thing. It's a
there's
condition. It's
because there's
basically menopause for men, right? So your hormones crash when you reach a certain age. It's called
Yeah, I'm
andropause.
about to cry now.
Men don't-
You're clicking my andropause?
Men don't want to hear none of that.
So, but it's a real thing. So, whether you want to hear it or not, it is what it is.
Good stuff. Good stuff. I think the last thing would be good for you to touch on is you talked about like side effects. You kind of touched on it, and I know that's, if we look at most of the things that even I see right out there, is all these people want to be like, you're going to take this shot and it's going to do all of these things to you. And my argument as a health coach is always the fact that your high blood pressure, that's going to kill you. Have you looked at the side effects of high blood pressure? Have you looked at the side effects of obesity, of liver disease, of all the different things that you're going to die of because of the weight? And so that's usually my response. But what's your response to somebody who says, yes, but all the side effects?
So let me. I have a list of all the side effects here. I'm gonna read these off to you, and then you can compare the risks of doing this or the risks of staying obese
Right.
and staying on all those meds, right? Okay. Nausea, diarrhea, vomiting, constipation, abdominal pain, headache, fatigue, indigestion, heartburn, dizziness, abdominal distension, belching, hypoglycemia, which is low blood sugar, which is why we monitor you, flatulence, gastroenteritis, gastroesophageal reflux, and in very severe cases, it can cause pancreatitis, which you would have to not be able to take it anymore. That's very rare, right? All of those symptoms compared to
Heart disease.
leaving heart disease, obesity,
Oh, man.
diabetes untreated, or just continuing to not.
Well, the other aspect of it are the medications that you're, because what's crazy to me with medication, and it was always like a forefront thing for me, with my journey with getting my life right and getting my health right. Every time I went into the doctor, they wanted to put me on some type of medication. And it's like, okay, well, you got to be on this medication. So I need to give you this medication to counteract what
Side effects of that
side effects of this
medication, yeah.
medication. So you go in there saying that, you might have high blood pressure, but you came out with a cholesterol med, you came out with this med, you came out with that med, and you're on 4 different meds, you know?
Yeah.
And you want to talk about the side effects of
You want
just
to talk
one
about the
that
side
could save your
effects.
life, essentially.
It's like you watch these commercials and it's like side effects, blah, 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 blah. And they go off on the thing and they talk about how great the drug is for you and all that. But then on the backside, they're sitting there for 10 minutes talking about all the stuff that one drug could do. But then you're on 4 different drugs to where you could just be on the one.
But side effects.
Just be on one.
That bottle of Propel right there is go to Publix next time you stand in line in Publix, and while you're standing there, pick up a candy bar and flip it over. It says this product may cause cancer because the fake sugars, beer, artificial hops now, all these chemicals, everything you eat has chemicals in it that cause problems. That can cause just like this.
Yeah.
This is something that somebody got. One person in that study got diarrhea, so they had to put diarrhea in there. Might cause dreary eye, fire, nuts, whatever. So,
I've heard about fire nuts.
but you know what I'm saying? I got this burning sensation on my pee. That's whatever.
Might be something else you need to
Right.
check. You got burning
Oh, wrong
sensation.
conversation, but that's what I'm saying. Somebody
We're
got
all
it during the
not
thing. Right. Somebody got it during the study. They have to put it down. And so people are worried about the side effects, but there's so many other things that you're getting from a doctor. Any medication you take, you can have a side effect. Hell, you can take Tylenol and have a side effect. But anything you eat now could cause side effects worse because of the chemicals and stuff that's in your foods. So if you're worried about that, but look at all the stuff it cures.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a
But
list of them.
I think too, people don't understand or realize how these things are manufactured, right? These are not medications or chemicals put together to relieve a symptom that are foreign to your body, right? They're not. These things are not foreign to your body. All these things, peptides, GLP-1s, GIPs, these are already existing things in your body. There's nothing that is being introduced to you that your body doesn't already have. All you're doing is restoring the normal state. Or if you have a condition, you're managing that condition, right? So I understand where people are like, oh, this is just another drug that I'm taking just like this other shit. It's not. It's not like that. These are bioidentically compounded pharmaceuticals that are made to mimic what's already in your system. So it's not even a comparison. People aren't educated on this stuff, right?
Mhm.
So, and that's one of the other things we do is we educate people about all of this.
And that's huge.
Yeah.
How many people go to a doctor, here's your script, and you go stand in line at CVS, they hit the thing, they go, you got any questions? You're like,
Yeah.
no, sign here, they hit it to you, and you walk out.
If you're lucky, you get a pamphlet.
Right, because the
Yeah.
little girl behind the counter, she has to ask the pharmacist,
Yeah.
and the pharmacist's like, yeah, I'll be right with you.
Yeah.
What's the problem? It's, ask them your questions,
Yeah.
and that's it, once you leave. But you can always get a hold of us, or
Please find me some amino acids that cause the
Right.
same issues that statins cause, or the same issues that blood pressure medication. Please find me one. If you can find me one,
Stats, man.
I mean, they're.
The research I did on those.
Oh, and I didn't know this, but I talked to Melanie today, and I was talking about high blood pressure and what supplements we could recommend to people. And I didn't know that just omega-3s were natural.
Yeah.
I didn't know that because I was taking aspirin. And I called her and I said, man, I just read something that says you shouldn't be taking aspirin anymore. So she's like, no, just take the omega-3s. And so I'm going to switch over to that. But
Well, the other part of it too is there's some people that can't take omega-3s, and I'm one of them.
oh, really?
Because one of the side effects of that is also severe.
You're just an anomaly.
Yeah, I'm an
Like,
anomaly. But no, I'm not an anomaly. It's a big thing. It's a big thing.
It
So what
is.
they do is they're also what people need to know. Okay, because because omega is fish, and there's some people that are vegetarian, and there's people that are allergic to it.
Yeah.
So there is a plant-based omega-3.
Oh, there is?
Yeah.
Oh,
So all you people out there that need to go on omega, and you tried the fish oil ones, and it didn't work for you for whatever reason, you had some type of side effect or you're allergic to fish, there is an omega-3 that is a plant-based omega.
You
Just
are.
good to know.
It's good to know.
Good for me.
Because omegas are good for us, especially at our age,
Yeah.
for healthy heart function and heart health and brain function. It helps things keep moving and keeps you, good to go. So just for your info, there is a plant-based.
Awesome.
Amazing. Well, you
So just one more thing real quick, and that's we haven't talked about contraindications, which means people that are recommended not to take this medication. And that is, there's only two of them. Medullary thyroid carcinoma and multiple endocrine neoplasia type 2. So, I mean, that should tell you
Well,
something.
I think the electrical can't take them too, right? A type 1
It
diabetic.
doesn't say they can't take it. I don't know. It doesn't have them listed here. Let me see.
I think it's
I'll look it up.
There's
real
only
quick.
two.
I'll look it up. Hold on.
I thought there was some cases that
Let's see.
you're
Okay,
type 1. If you're type 1, yeah, I don't know if you can. Some type 1s can.
I think type 1s have to be closely monitored, don't they, by the physicians?
Yeah, I'm crazy.
Type 2 is preventable, right?
Yeah,
Type 1 is
2.
not.
Well, that's one of the benefits that originally they made these drugs for type 2 diabetics to help control their blood sugar. And it's helped them tremendously because they've been able to regulate their blood sugar.
It's the first search that popped
and
up.
bring their
was
Type 1.
Type 1.
Type 1 diabetics, and it popped in, take Ozempic.
Wow.
No, a type 1 diabetic cannot. So good catch, man.
So see?
Because type 1s are on insulin
Yeah.
and they're insulin dependent. Okay.
So that was one of the things.
So there you go. Type 1 diabetes, and the other two I
The
listed.
other two alongside.
Thyroid
No.
cancers. So
So yeah, so that original was for that, and they found out that it helps with obesity, and they found out that it helps with
All these other things.
many other things. So it's like, if you need more information, hit us up about GLP-1s and hormone therapy, any type of hormone therapy, and we'll be happy to talk to you and really steer you in the right direction. If you have questions or whatever, type them down below. And we can get back to you on it and get you the right answer. And other than that, again, we want to thank the roast,
the roost,
the roast,
the roost.
The roost.
for this phenomenal Cubano.
If you're local here in St. Augustine and you want some good Latin Cuban food, go check
up
out
off Route 16.
Absolutely.
Okay, they got good food.
They just opened, and The food's excellent.
It's good food. It's good food.
Awesome.
So, any parting words, fellas?
Just hit us up if you need help. Hit us up. We're here.
Good.
Well, Rick said good. We're good to go. All right. Thanks for coming and talking to us. We're always
over.
excited to have you, and we'll talk next week.